On that ominous night, the sky grew darker and the wind whispered with an eerie tone. Rudi, a young man who had just finished his late-night work, drove towards his home. The road he traversed was desolate, with only dim streetlights casting shadows over the dark asphalt. As he navigated through a narrow road amidst the woods, Rudi felt the atmosphere shift. The air became thick, and a silence was broken only by faint footsteps beside his car. He glanced at the window, yet nothing was in sight. But the unseen isn't always unfelt. Every time Rudi glanced towards the window, there was a strange vibration that shook his car. His heart raced and his eyes kept searching for answers. Reaching a sharp turn, Rudi encountered a figure standing in the middle of the road, a woman in an ancient white gown with long hair covering her face. Rudi startled himself with a sudden brake, narrowly avoiding a collision with the apparition that materialized out of nowhere. With bated breath, Rudi peered through his rearview mirror, but there was nothing to be seen. The woman vanished without a trace. Fear gripped Rudi's heart, but he tried to convince himself it was just his overactive imagination. Little did he know, that night was just the beginning of a chilling tale that would change his life forever. Shaken by the encounter with the mysterious woman, Rudi continued his journey home, hoping it was just a figment of his imagination. The road seemed to stretch endlessly through the thick woods, and the shadows cast by the flickering streetlights played tricks on his mind. As Rudi approached an old, creaky bridge that spanned a narrow river, an unsettling feeling settled in the pit of his stomach. The air became colder, and a haunting melody echoed through the night. He strained his ears to listen, and the melody transformed into faint whispers, indiscernible but undeniably present. Crossing the bridge, Rudi's headlights flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the trees lining the road. He caught glimpses of silhouettes, human-like figures that seemed to move in rhythm with the haunting whispers. The temperature inside the car dropped, and Rudi's breath formed mist in the chilled air. Unable to shake off the feeling of being watched, Rudi quickened his pace. The road ahead seemed to elongate, distorting his perception of time and space. He questioned his sanity as strange symbols appeared fleetingly on road signs and trees, only to vanish when he blinked. Suddenly, the whispers intensified, growing into agonized cries that sent shivers down Rudi's spine. He gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles turning white, and then the cries abruptly ceased. The road ahead seemed normal again, as if nothing had happened. As Rudi approached his neighborhood, he couldn't shake the feeling that the night held more secrets than he could comprehend. The ghostly encounter was just the beginning, and an ominous presence lingered, waiting to reveal itself. Rudi's home appeared on the horizon, a beacon of normalcy in the unsettling night. Yet, as he pulled into his driveway, an overwhelming sense of foreboding gripped him. The air felt heavy, and the familiar surroundings seemed distorted under the moonlit sky. Entering his house, Rudi hoped to find solace, but the strange occurrences persisted. Faint whispers followed him, echoing through the empty halls. He checked each room, finding nothing but the oppressive silence broken only by the occasional creaks of the old house settling. As he reached the dimly lit corridor leading to his bedroom, Rudi noticed a fleeting shadow at the corner of his eye. Turning quickly, he caught a glimpse of the same woman in the white gown, standing at the end of the hallway. Her figure dissolved into the darkness before he could react. Determined to confront the apparition, Rudi cautiously approached his bedroom. The door creaked open slowly, revealing a room shrouded in an otherworldly gloom. The air was icy, and a soft glow emanated from an antique mirror. In the reflection, Rudi saw the woman again, this time with her face revealed. Hollow Ease stared back at him, and her lips moved, forming words he couldn't comprehend. Fear paralyzed him as the room filled with an ethereal presence. The temperature plummeted, and the whispers crescendoed into anguished wails. Rudi felt an invisible force surround him, constricting tighter with each passing moment. The walls seemed to close in, and shadows danced menacingly around him. Desperate to escape the supernatural grip, Rudi stumbled backward, crashing into the mirror. It shattered into shards, and the room plunged into darkness. When Rudi regained consciousness, he found himself alone in the shattered room, the whispers now replaced by an eerie silence. As he surveyed the wreckage, a realization dawned on him. This haunting went beyond mere chance encounters. The spirit was tied to something darker, something that demanded resolution. Rudi, shaken and determined, embarked on a quest to uncover the truth behind the malevolent spirit that had woven its way into his life. Armed with fragments of the shattered mirror, he sought guidance from an old local historian known for unraveling the mysteries of the town's dark past. The historian, Mr. Harlan, listened intently as Rudi recounted his harrowing experiences. Harlan's eyes widened in recognition as Rudi described the woman in the white gown and the haunted whispers that seemed to follow him. "Son," Harlan began, his voice weighted with the gravity of the revelation, "you've encountered the spirit of Eleanora Blackwood, a woman who met a tragic fate many decades ago. Legend has it that she was wronged in life, and her restless spirit seeks justice." Eleanora, once a prominent figure in the town, had been falsely accused of a crime she didn't commit. As the truth emerged, it became apparent that her untimely demise was orchestrated by those with malevolent intentions. The mirror, an heirloom passed down through generations, held a connection to her troubled past. Rudi, now armed with knowledge, returned home to confront the lingering spirit. The broken mirror pieces seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy as he entered the room where the supernatural events had unfolded. Shadows flickered, and a cold breeze swept through the air. "Eleanora," Rudi spoke with a mixture of compassion and determination. "I've learned of the injustice that befell you. I'm here to help you find peace." The room quivered with ethereal energy as Eleanora's apparition materialized once more. This time, her gaze held a mix of gratitude and sorrow. She reached out to Rudi, and the shattered mirror pieces floated in the air, reassembling into a complete whole. In a burst of blinding light, the spirit of Eleanora Blackwood found release. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the room returned to a semblance of normalcy. The whispers faded away, leaving only the quiet stillness of the night. Rudi, exhausted but relieved, knew that he had played a role in righting a historical wrong. The town, now freed from the grip of a vengeful spirit, would hopefully find peace once more. As dawn broke, Rudi stood outside his home, the events of the night etched into his memory. The town could now move forward, and he had faced the shadows, emerging with a newfound understanding of the thin veil between the living and the restless spirits that linger.